Alright guys, Kremp again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Shotzzy has given his thoughts on the brand new Los Angeles Thieves super team, the roster that has been formed to take down the world champions OpTic Texas and of course the World Cup winners Atlanta FaZe. Shotzzy reckons that yes, they will be a competitive team, but actually, despite the fact that we're going from a 4-team league to a 3-team league, this actually could be a good thing for the CDL overall. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Some cool pictures of course from yesterday's OpTic Legacy match. And, well, this is pretty funny, right? Obviously, it's a joke tweet, it's a troll tweet, just before anyone takes it too serious, but of course, people have to in the replies. So, after the OpTic Dynasty demolished OpTic Texas on Black Ops 2 in that best of 9, then Breaker would say, Hicksy is currently looking to drop the current team in hopes of picking up Formal, Scump, Kremp, and Karma for the Black Ops 6 season. So, obviously, you know, joking around it. The funny thing was, people did kind of take this serious, right? So, this guy, the replies, I think he's joking, he's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And then this guy Tiki says, bro, why is Hicksy doing that? His roster is fine, the problem is Dashy. So I'm like, well, is the roster fine or is it not? Because if the roster's fine, then there would be no problems, but the problem is Dashy. So it was funny that people saw this, some people saw this anyway and thought, wow, maybe that's actually for real. But there was a lot of reaction, right, to just the community watching that match be played and seeing some of the reaction to it. As Slasher says, make COD great again, right? I think the reality is when you watch a game like Black Ops 2, you can see that it's just it's so different to what they've played and have been playing today in what they still call Call of Duty, but it just feels very different to how it did a decade or so ago. And you go back and play Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, it feels like you're playing a whole different franchise at times, to be perfectly honest. Now, there are some features of those games, and I mean, I love those games, I grew up on those games, so I'm going to be biased. But the way they made those games, definitely there would be something to learn. I mean, the argument is that back then, the aim assist was far weaker, was one of the key things you noticed, that it's harder to shoot, even like the best players in the world can't hit, they can't one burst everyone, right? That is just how it tends to be. And, it's a difficult game. You can't just cross map someone with an SMG for free. You've got to play strategically, right? And that makes things, I think, play significantly better. Over the last few years, we know that aim assist has got stronger and stronger in general to help out the newer players. And, we know how COD has gone, as unfortunate as it may be. The question is that perfect? Because, many people, understandably, if you go back and play those games today, you will probably feel like you're stuck in the mud. Like, you just move kind of slow. The movement is you just sprint and then walk and then, okay, you can dolphin dive and stuff like that. And you can drop shot and jump shot. And it's a thing and it's fair play. But and I loved it back then, to be fair. But there is an argument that what they've done with the movement over the last few games, I'm not a big fan of tac sprints, but just the sliding and those kind of mechanics have maybe improved things on some capacity. So maybe there's an argument to say that those games, if they remade a game like Black Ops 2 with maybe, slightly faster movement or something, then people would argue that it would be better suited to what people are currently playing today. And maybe that's true. But the other argument is that, well, just go play Black Ops 3 or something, right? Like choose a nice hybrid game that also had many of the positive elements of a game like Black Ops 2, but also had some of the more modern features. But, obviously I can't help myself, can I? And as Parasite says, watching this Legacy OpTic match is sick. Imagine if the game still took skill to aim right. And as Sean Cascade actually says in the replies pretty much what I said, how when you go from watching MW3, or MW3 this year weren't too bad. MW2 last year was not the best, in my opinion, right? You go from watching the games we have done over the last 2 to 3 years, and then you, take a 10-year step back to the past, and you really see how many things have changed. I mean, things changed kind of iteratively over time, but and I think really it was MW19 that really set the new bar, unfortunately, in terms of what the recent CODs are going to be like. And, we've kind of just seen a big regression, I would say, in some ways. I guess there was also a question, many of you guys gave your thoughts in the comments earlier today. What other game should they have played if it wasn't Black Ops 2? And, the theory was, okay, maybe Black Ops 4. There was a theory that next year, if they run it back again, OpTic Texas versus OpTic Dynasty, and, assuming the OpTic Texas roster's the same, but who honestly knows, depends what happens this season, then they might play Black Ops 4, which I think would be an interesting kind of compromise spot. A game that those Dynasty boys still played on a very high level. Scump and Kremp, top 3 at the World Championship that year, won the event in Vegas at the start of the season, but Dashy was arguably the best player that entire year, certainly with the Maddox and the Tempest and stuff like that. So I think think that would be a very interesting one. Of course, Black Ops 4 as well was played 5 versus 5, but I think arguably it could have played even better 4 versus 4. So, I'd be excited to see if it was played on Black Ops 4. Interesting game for me because, some people say like Jake here, most underrated COD or one of the most underrated CODs ever. I love Black Ops 4, played so much of it. I don't know how underrated it is personally. I think it gets relatively fairly rated, and I do think it had its problems, right? I mean, the stim shots, the instant health regen. I do think like that wasn't ideal personally, and if I could have remade the game, I'd probably have changed a couple of things. But the maps, the movement, like the weapons, the 3-gun meta, the SORG, the Maddox, the ICR was like just genuinely so good. I probably played like competitively more Black Ops 4 than maybe any other game apart from Black Ops 3. But yeah, you guys already know the answer to that one. But a couple of interesting things here to share with you guys. Thought this was an interesting statement here from Dashy. I don't know if it's a song quote or whatever, but still, maybe he was reminiscing a little bit of what was happening at the Dynasty game, given the OpTic guys, of course, are still held in such high regard. And I'm sure that Dashy has at least on some level contemplated his future in COD. We've heard a couple of times now that Kenny has been asked the question, like, when are you going to retire? You're going to retire? You're going to leave us or whatever? And Kenny's like, what do you mean retire? Like, I'm still playing like great COD, basically in my prime. Like, why would I step away? Doesn't make any sense. And that's fair enough, and I don't think Kenny will for a long time. Dashy, however, has been, as we know, under immense pressure in COD for years to finally win more. This year he won 2 events, including the World Championship, to fulfill that dream and ambition. I think that will do 2 things to Dashy, one of 2 things. Either it will free him up massively and he'll be like, wow, okay, World Champion now achieved it, monkey off the back, whatever, and now could just focus on playing his best stuff. Or Dashy will think, well, I've kind of accomplished things, and whatever happens from now is, an additional gift, and maybe won't, be as committed as he could otherwise be. And could think, well, if I step away, then I step away, and I've still achieved the things that I kind of wanted to in my career. I don't know what Dashy's thoughts on that is, but people have definitely thrown it around as to, wow, what if Dashy retires or something? I think it's rather unlikely, but I wouldn't say it's completely impossible, depending how the next couple of seasons go. And even though Dashy still feels like a new gen player, he has been around since Infinite Warfare, really competing. Like, he's been around so many years of competitive play, and he's actually one of like he's still a young guy, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, he's one of the older guys in the league now. So, there have been players that retired younger, shall we say, certainly in various other esports. But Shotzzy also is not trying to go anywhere anytime soon, and he had a few interesting words to say on the Thieves team the other day on the OpTic podcast, really just discussing how short the team on paper is very good. Like, there's no doubt about that. They will have their problems and things they've got to deal with and learn through and, problem solve, basically, in the same way that OpTic and FaZe have this most recent year. But the question, I guess, for many is this going to make the league better or worse? Because last year we had what you could call a 4-team league. I mean, it literally was a 4-team league. Those 4 subliners, Ultra, FaZe, and OpTic were far separated from the rest of the competition, both in CDL points and in event victories. They won 1 each, all of those guys. And then the additional event, it was OpTic that won champs, and FaZe that won the Esports World Cup. For the new season, what's that going to look like? Because we now have effectively combined the Subliners team and the Toronto team onto Los Angeles Thieves, and it's those 3 orgs that look like they're going to be the most competitive. Now, you never fully, truly, really know what's going to happen until the season starts. Maybe Toronto are insanely good with their new team. Maybe some other team surprises, let's say Cloud9 or whatever. Like, maybe they outperform expectations. Maybe Surge are really good, who knows? Like, there are options out there, but the likelihood is where the talent is set, it's going to be something like a 3-team league.
No, it's actually a good squad. I feel like it's a good thing for the league just because, like, it seems like LET is going to do more, like, content, if that makes sense. Because I feel like Paco was on the team where, like, they didn't really do shit. I mean, they definitely did some stuff, but it wasn't where, like,
yeah, they're gonna.
It was more like individual stuff, if that makes sense. Like, I'm pretty sure they did like podcasts here and there. Whereas if like this team obviously wants to win, but then like they know, like the CDL needs a bit of help. So
like you'll see HyDra's personality more. I know. I don't. I mean, I just know him from being good.
Dude, I was playing poker with them. I told you, right?
Oh yeah, you did.
With about the entire 100 Thieves, not just team but squad before their announcement, because they shot the announcement.
They know how to play poker?
Huh?
They know how to play poker?
No. Paco was learning, and
I actually know how to play.
Shut your ass up.
I swear I know how to play. I don't know how I know how to play, but I do. I learned off a fucking game, but I actually know how to play.
So it was announcement, and Nate Shot hits me. He's like, yo, I was like, I know it's last minute, but yo, do you want to play poker tonight? And I was like, yeah. He's like, can we play at the Garage Mahal? And I was like, yeah, for sure. So he's like, I got a problem. It's 9 of us. And I was like, I guess I'm the 10th, not inviting anybody from OpTic. Yeah, let's go. So I go and I was sitting there and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, like there's fucking Scrap. There's fucking like, Envoy has won a game there. So like he's already won when we were in Huntsman. So I was like, but then I see Paco, I see fucking Scrappy, I got Nade next to me, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Imagine somebody takes a picture of that. What is Hex up to
I
nowadays?
almost took a picture. It was getting late. I was feeling a little woozy. And, I was like, I took a picture and I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck am I doing? I deleted the boomerang and shit. Oh man.
Hex chilling with the opposition?
Wait, who won most of the games?
We only played one game, and
One
I don't
game?
remember. Yeah, dude,
One tournament, like one-
Oh, a tournament.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just 10 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was Dan Ghosty at the end versus some other dude that works for him, a camera person that works for him. He's good friends with Kenny.
Oh, Dan knows how to play?
Ghosty?
Yeah.
No, I think he was learning.
So the talent may be more concentrated. We may have these 3 teams every single championship Sunday, but we're not really going to know who's going to win any of those given championship Sundays. And there's going to be a great opportunity for somebody else to try and step into that spot. The main point that Shotzzy makes, however, is that on Toronto, sure, Toronto did some pretty good content. They had their series, they did their podcast, but as like a content org, they're not hitting quite the same as Thieves are, certainly from 100 Thieves' perspective. FaZe, honestly, don't do as much as arguably they could, but they're kind of running the show over at Atlanta Esports Ventures. It's a slightly different thing, but we know that the OpTic guys and now HyDra and Scrappy are going to become some of the biggest personalities in the league. Certainly, I feel like that was true for HyDra, right? Because HyDra has, you can argue, left a lot of money on the table over the last few years because he could have turned the stream on, right? Everyone knows this. HyDra is a very entertaining personality when we hear him in the backgrounds of streams such as Nadeshot stream or whatever. The guy is hella entertaining, but he's been making so much cash on these contracts that he's been getting signed over with the subliners. There was the rumor of the 500k contract, but of course then you've got whatever the contract was that he has. You've then got like bonuses potentially that come into play depending how things have been signed. Like let's say HyDra gets the MVP, has there been some sort of bonus baked in for that? Right? Is there some sort of bonus of winning champs? Like, I don't know what these organizations tend to do, but it's possible, right? And HyDra could have streamed, and he could have made a lot more money if he did that. And maybe he still can. And there's an argument that HyDra doesn't want to stream because he feels like he's going to give things away. And maybe that's fair enough too. But on an organization like Thieves, we're going to see a bit more of that. We're going to see even more of Scrap's personality than we already do. We're going to see even more of, HyDra's personality than we already do, in addition to Nadeshot and everything that's going on over there as well. So I think that Shotzy's right that in some sense this is going to be a good thing for the scene. I think it's going to be entertaining. And honestly, is there a massive difference between a 4-team league and a 3-team league? Probably not in terms of the top heaviness. It's still going to be top heavy, and that's probably fine. And maybe on some level it's going to be even more fiercely fought among the top 3 teams than it even was last season with 4. But very much on Twitter your thoughts, as ever, on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Seth.
Yo!
Yo, breaking news. I had a little visitor in my chat. Word on the street directly from the source, and that source being Embos, he said you didn't wish him a happy birthday.
I didn't know it was his birthday, bro. I literally just texted him. Dude, I didn't know it was his birthday. Like, I wasn't on social media.
This is where I need to have an opinion.
Nobody in the OpTic chat wished him a happy birthday either. So how would I know?
No, see, that's not my gripe.
How would I know?
Here's my gripe. Matt, before you said
no
that
one in
to
the
Seth,
OpTic chat said anything either.
I said it before, because Bose came in my chat as well. And I had Seth's chat open, and they were like, fucking Zitty, the fucking vibe kill. Now you said it. It's Keck W, LMAO, exclamation point. Wanted to let it be known how different things are.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Different
bro.
people.
That's, I don't know.
Keck
I don't know what to
W.
say. I don't know what
Fuck
to
you.
say, man.
The question is, do you believe Seth that he did not know it was his birthday?
If I knew it was his birthday, I would definitely shoot a text, bro.